It's high time.
A podcast raised from above.
Providing tactical advice in Overwatch.
And commentating on games we play online.
Mostly Overwatch.
Hello!
Hey, everybody.
Welcome to the podcast! Overmuch episode 4 podcast, A New Nope.
A new nope.
Yeah, and that'll be coming up later, but first what we were going to discuss here is... episode 4 podcast... Oh, well, sheesh.
A new nope.
Just a second.
You're interrupting yourself. Well, what?
You,
I wanted to thank our sponsor.
you button bro.
For frick's sakes, jeez.
Now you gotta watch an ad.
It's really easy. It's so nice and
It's
affordable.
adception.
Okay, before we jump in...
Okay,
for
let's
people to
restart
stream and-
for the
and
VOD.
Okay, no, this is staying in. This is staying in.
Adception.
So, for
Alright,
people who
right,
are
well-
watching and don't know who we are, let's just go around and introduce ourselves.
Okay.
I'm Stay on the Freaking Point, Jared.
I thought you said
Jared
Stan for a second. I was like, who's Stan? Okay, so Jared, stay on the point. That's what I say a lot.
This week. I'm trying to find what my name is this
Just
week.
no, I just made that up, dude. Come on, be
Oh,
punctual.
my name
freaking-
is Arijah. Please come back. Mr. Giblet.
Hey, that's a
And
nice section.
and my name is I'm already back, but I have 2 health.
Man, this is really professional. I like
Arijah.
this.
And yeah, today we're going to talk about Reinhardt first, and that is
Reinhardt
the
first.
hero spotlight this week. Now, so you want to play Reinhardt. Reinhardt, to get in the mindset, he's the protector. You want to get past me? You have to kill me first, and good luck. You want to know how I think? I'm not just the linebacker of my team, I'm the defensive line. No one gets the heart of my team, the healers and the damage dealers, and they'll regret it if they take anyone. I get my team the objective. Once there, I flash my shield in front of some enemies, see if anyone on my team wants to shoot through it. If they don't, I charge in with a damage dealer to protect them, then quickly back to my healers if they don't follow. I stay the hell away from Junkrat, Pharah, and Tracer if I'm targeted by them. They're a death sentence. I call on my team to take them out. Once the point is active, I don't get off the point. If my entire team is far from the point, I yell for them to get back. If they don't get back, there's no point in playing Reinhardt. Reinhardt is with his team, and he's on the point. When using my charge, I can sidestep it right and left with the A and D keys default. If there's a runner, like if he's running away from me charging, I try to hit a side of the field that my team owns on the battlefield. And it's good to know what side of the field your team owns whenever you're playing and when you're ever charging into battle, especially with a charge. It's when my shield is run out and an enemy has wandered too far up. It's for when they're outnumbered and they're lower health and I'm high health. If I charge too far, I stall till I can charge back to safety. Dying is not an option. Speaking of dying, I watch my health when I can, position myself accordingly. If I'm low health, I either have my shield up or I'm in the back, in my healer's face till they get to me, letting all the alt tank hold the line. Hopefully there's an alt tank. There's not. In payload attacking maps, I'm never more than 10 meters from the payload, unless there's an ult to avoid, and that's on the far side. If I'm on a tangent, my team will start dying. Defending payload is a bit more intricate. I favor the high ground, in front of my damage dealers and healers if at all possible, only getting directly on the payload without choice. I save my ultimate or ult for taking points. I call out I'm about to hammer down, then trying to get ideally 3 people in a cone about 12 feet away from me, my field of vision is on. I left-click spray my hammer, basically doing circles as much as I can, to get the most area of effect damage with it on the 3+ people rather than just finishing one person off with a charge. My team can finish them off. If I don't, they're not far. Countering ultimates. When I shield D.Va's ult, I shout behind me. I call out Junkrat's ult, but in the end, he'll probably have me. I shield McCree's ult when I shield Reaper's ult. I move backwards. I shield Soldier's ult. I tackle Winston's ult, Bastion's ult, and Anna's. Bastion's a little more of a death sentence if he sees me. And Anna's Nano Boosted ult. Fire Strike should be used as much as possible in close combat, as it's 100 damage versus the hammer 60 damage. So if you can line up a Fire Strike, you do it, even in close combat. Avoid spamming Fire Strike unless your team has cover, or doesn't need cover while you do. It gives an opening. Like, I don't know how many times I've put a hammer down on an enemy Reinhardt who dropped his shield to do a Fire Strike. There's a big window. If an enemy Reinhardt charges me, I countercharge late to stun us both. So, Reinhardt coming in with a charge, I countercharge, so that we're both stunned, and hopefully I'm near my team. You know, you want to. It's split second. If I sidestep their charge, it could mean a dead Mercy or Lucio and losing the point. If he charges somewhere else, it's best I call it out and we all kill him before he pins them to a wall. Above all, I protect my team. I'm the front line. I'm not here to get kills so much as I'm here to help my team not die getting kills. I finish off, I don't start. And that's Reinhardt.
Reinhardt.
I like the fact that you compare Overwatch to football.
Yes.
So, if you don't know anything about football, there's a thing in football called the line of scrimmage.
Yeah,
and that's where the ball is. And so, you said defensive line. I like to think more of Reinhardt as the offensive line. And so, Reinhardt is there to protect the most important parts of your team, mainly a healer, a Zenyatta, and maybe a soldier or somebody like that. And ideally, a Reinhardt will never have his shield up without somebody behind him shooting something at somebody. So, to me, he's the offensive line of the team, and wherever he is, that's where the fight's going to be. So, as a Reinhardt, and Elijah knows this better than anybody, when you throw up that shield, you're a huge target. And if there's another Reinhardt, he's going to be right there on you, and that's where the line of scrimmage is. That's where the fight's at, almost every time.
Totally agree. I mean, that's why I don't play Reinhardt, because I find him to be difficult in the fact that he dictates the pace of play. So wherever he's going to be, that's where it's going to be. So exactly what you said, Giblets. The people think he's just swing your hammer, but there's a lot more tactical qualities to him. So.
Yeah. And yeah, that's pretty much Reinhardt. We all said our 2 cents. Just make sure. I wrote this a week ago. So, like, one little thing: if you're trying to disengage from an enemy, one thing you can do is kind of bunny hop with your shield up, and you'll actually go a little faster away from them. And you can actually disengage a little bit, especially if a damage dealer comes in and backs you up a little bit.
Yeah.
But, you know, you're pretty much screwed if you're low health inside of an enemy team, and that's not where you want to be. Yeah, and that's all I got to say about Reinhardt, really. I mean,
last thing I'll note is that Reinhardt affects how his team plays and how the enemies play, obviously. But more specifically, whenever you see Reinhardt, your first goal, if it's an enemy Reinhardt, is get behind the Reinhardt. Mm-hmm. Because his shield will be up most of the time. Because it's such a fast pace of play that really just getting up behind him is the best course of action, which can also affect the heroes that they pick. So,
so that's Reinhardt. If you want to play him, that's the mindset.
Right. All right. So we got our weekly spotlight done. We're gonna move over to our carryovers from last week. I think we only got one.
Yeah.
It reads, toxic behavior is back. Did it ever leave? Now, we did touch up on this. I think we definitely did last cast, and we did a little bit on our first episode talking about the changes to the GG Easy filter, things like that. I still think that, my personal opinion is that the community is not toxic in Overwatch. At least not at the moment. And I really don't think it ever will be. That's a very dramatic claim.
Optimistic?
It's very optimistic, yes. I just think that as of right now, for the demographic that it's going towards, like TF2 was never as toxic as CSGO. And TF2 and Overwatch do have striking similarities. I think that it's just... I've always thought that certain types of games attract certain types of people. And as of right now, I've only had really positive experiences. I've only had about 2 trolls, I think, and both of them were with you guys. But what are your guys' thoughts on that? Is it toxic at the moment?
I've had lots of toxic people. It's mostly in chat. Like, if I'm going to talk about it, I have like, you were talking about it attracts certain people. I have a friend who is toxic as crap. And he was completely turned off by Overwatch.
Okay.
Because he couldn't carry. I think it was because he couldn't carry, like he does in CSGO. Because he was a CSGO player. And he what's the word? Talks trash a lot.
Yeah.
And so it's almost like not being able to carry a game is a deterrent to people that are a little more lone wolf, right?
Yeah.
So,
Yeah, and typically those lone wolf people are the ones that are the most toxic.
Yes.
So
because I think it's a different mindset. Being a troll is a very selfish thing to do.
I don't know if we have too many trolls. I'm sure there are some, but like...
Well, I mean, trolls, trash talkers, I lump them all into the same batch of bad eggs. And I think it really comes down to selfish behavior. And since you can't succeed in this game and be selfish, I agree. That's probably why your friend got turned off by that. Because trash talking is being selfish in the fact that you get enjoyment from belittling and negatively talking to other people. That's a selfish act within itself because you are disregarding the other person's feelings or their opinions.
Yeah.
So,
feelings.
Yeah, my feelings. Meanwhile, back at the safe space. You said something mean to me. I will say one thing. Yeah.
Go ahead.
I will say one thing is that we're talking about, is it toxic? Is it not toxic? The real question is, does it matter if it is? Does that affect your enjoyment of the game?
Yeah, and toxic, we didn't say it this podcast. By toxic, we mean trash talking, saying mean things to other people for no good reason, because you're losing, because you're not losing, etc.
Yeah, affecting your, in any capacity, affecting your fellow players negatively, particularly your own team.
Yeah.
So I don't care really.
Mm-hmm.
Mostly because even when I played CS:GO and there were toxic people everywhere, it didn't really bother me. Doesn't mean I'm better than anyone because I have a pretty thin skin, I will admit.
Mm-hmm.
But that's more in like real life interactions. On the internet, you just got to shut it off. And people are like, "Oh, that's such a cop out thing to say. We need to actually fix the problem." You're not going to fix the problem. If toxic people show up, toxic people are going to show up. Twitter, which we all have, follow at Overmuch Podcast. Everybody's toxic on there. Well, not everybody, but most people I interact with have toxic natures, if we're going by the definition of toxic that we're talking about right now. And it's just doesn't bother me. Does it bother you guys, toxicity? To the point that you wouldn't play, is what I'm asking.
It bothers the crap out of me.
No. It doesn't bother me to the point I'm not going to play.
Okay.
If that was the case, I would have never played CS:GO.
It still it bothers me, but I deal with it.
Yeah.
Thanks to MC Glenn, Cooper, and the Red Dragons Guild for retweeting.
Yeah.
Yes.
The tweets. Thank you. No, I mean the toxic level in Overwatch is not there like it is in certain other multiplayer online competitive games.
Mm-hmm.
And when people are toxic, it most of the time it seems like they just do it in chat, which is easy to ignore.
Yes.
And every once in a while you'll get a griefer who will throw.
Yeah.
But other than that, I mean, it's not that big of an issue, I don't think. The bigger issue is Arija wanting to steal all the glory and run into the friggin' enemy team swinging his
Oh,
hammer like a
geez.
maniac.
Oh, geez, it's happening, guys.
I've been
It's getting
backing
real.
off of that.
Hashtag real
I-
talk with the
I noticed you've been backing off of that, and we've been really smashing kids' faces in too.
Well,
Like, you know, I want to go back to Reinhardt a minute. I think this is really critical. The way that you describe that whole Reinhardt thing in relation to football,
Mhm.
and Overwatch is really, especially payloads. It's really about pushing the payload like a football down the field to the end. And every time you make gains, the battle is taken to a new location. You know what I'm saying? So let's think about it like this. You know, you've got a Reinhardt who is the O-line. He's the defender. He's the guy that stops all the badness
Yeah.
from getting on your side of the field. So if he's the offensive line, then your healer, a Lucio or a Zenyatta, he's the quarterback.
Mhm.
He's the guy that's standing over there saying, okay, there's a guy over here, and then there's another guy here. There's a Bastion, or, you know, doing the call outs and stuff, you know?
I have noticed, and we can get back into this later, talking about our great night we had, the great play night we had yesterday. Definitely, I've noticed I was making way more call outs as a healer, and we were doing better.
Yep.
Maybe not because of it, but I was.
Oh,
making a
it
lot
was
more
because
call-outs.
of it, man.
So,
The more
And-
call-outs in a
and-
game, the more likely you are to win.
And your flankers are your running backs. So take a person like a diva Reaper combination. Okay, that's your fullback and your running back. Diva goes in, she smashes the defense, knocks people out of the way, and then Reaper comes in and picks up scraps. I mean, the football analogy is really, it hits really close to home to me because I like football, and I see a lot of that, and you know, sort of chess match type play. I've been seeing it more. There's a whole lot less, what you call, just flat out, you know, smash mouth gameplay that's occurring, and it's more a chess game. Especially on Eichenwald and that first choke point. It is literally a chess match trying to get through that stupid choke point. I mean, you've got to have all the pieces in place, and everybody's got to move in unison, or you're not going to make it. I mean, there's a lot more strategic play that's happening in competitive right now than was in season 1. In season 1, everybody was just smash it hard as can, you know, Reaper, Soldier, you know, Winston, just smash everything. And now people are kind of like, they're taking a little bit slower because, you know, it's more strategic, tactically, whatever.
all right. So now that we've gotten a couple topics, we're going to move over to our weekly segment,
Play of the week.
Play of the week. Now, here's a guy who knows how to play Overwatch. That was my awful John
All right,
Madden.
Chris Collinsworth.
No, that was supposed to be John Madden, dang it.
Oh.
John
Chris Collinsworth
Madden.
Here's a guy who...
No, I thought that was John
something.
Madden. Whatever.
Oh, it was
Anyways,
Chris Collinsworth.
Here's a guy. I
that's
don't.
something for another.
I
Granted, I will admit I'm not the resident intelligent person on that, because when you were talking about football, my eyes sort of glazed over, and I was just like,
I love football.
dude, I love the sports ball.
Hand egg.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right. So
okay. So
let's
I
start
got.
with Elijah. Elijah, what's your play of the week? Lay it
right.
down for us.
Okay. Picture this in your mind's eye. Okay. So we're tied with time left on our push. We're attacking Eichenwald. We got the first point again at the last second because I hammered the Ryan and the Zen that were on point. I fire strike the Ryan to finish him off. I go straight for the Zen, kill him. Our diva, not much later, uses her ult, and no one's there to shield because I killed the Ryan. And they all move off point, and we finish capping by like a half second more. We wouldn't have got it. 4-3 touchdown Raiders! Yeah.
Yeah. So Eichenwald has some really nice clutch pushes, potential, at least to me, because
It's not very far away from the spawn of attacking either.
yeah.
So,
Yeah,
you can move in there like real quick. and it's far away for the defender, right?
Yeah, this could be a carryover, but remember how our first podcast
We talked
about how defense, how it was favorable towards defensive players.
Mhm.
But now I don't think so. I think that now that everybody understands the limits of the first choke, that they're picking better heroes and the attackers just have the advantage. I haven't lost an attack on Eichenwald in a while, so
It's that last push into the throne room.
yeah.
If you come in there, lackadaisical or whatever, trying to push into that around that last bend, you're not going to make it. It takes a 6-man push to get it through there.
All right, so
I have noticed that teams are getting the first choke a lot more, and people have finally started to realize that you can boost over with somebody that has vertical ability, booster rockets, Farah, Diva, Winston even, I think, can make that jump.
It's really
if
hard.
He gets up on the ledge.
Yeah, he has to. It's hard.
Yeah. If you there's a ledge.
Yeah.
And it's got a bastion, a dead bastion sitting on this ledge. You see it right from spawn. If you can get on that ledge as a Farah, you can jump over.
Yes.
Diva can boost over that building from the ground if you do it just right. And so you can get over that building. And what I see a lot of teams have been doing is they're piling up at the choke, and there'll be a Mercy and a Zenyatta on the back line, but the back line is right there at the archway. And so I come over the top as Diva, and their whole back line is right there. And all I have to do is shoot them a few times, and everybody starts to run away. And here comes Elijah through the archway like a maniac. So it's easier to break that archway choke now that people have begun to realize that you can flank over that building.
So your friend said, okay, this is in chat. This is talking about defense.
Lijiang Tower.
Yeah, Lijiang Tower is stupid because most control points have a general direction the enemy comes from, but on that map it's pretty much every direction. Isn't that all control point maps though? Like,
well,
I was about to say that there's one version of the every angle. I'm assuming you're talking about the lab one with the astronauts.
The lab one. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's what I
Every
was
single
thinking of.
one, at all 3 maps, Ilios, Lijiang Tower, and Nepal, all have a similar one.
Yeah.
The one without a pitfall around the point in Nepal is one of them.
Mm-hmm.
Lijiang Tower is the one with the astronaut suits and the high tech and the circular rotunda.
But yeah,
area.
you're right. It's stupid because they come from every direction. I think that's just kind of. But you come from every direction too, right? On that one.
Well, he's talking about King of the Hill maps. Lijiang Tower is a King of the Hill map, and you have the control room or whatever it is. That's the one you're talking about, Jared. It's round,
circular on that Lucio can.
And then there's like the garden.
On.
The garden is the one where it's like where it's that center. It's round in the center, but it's surrounded by void space.
Just like windmill on Ilios.
Right, and then what's the third one? Lijiang Tower, the one where it's off on the side. I don't remember what the name of it is.
Yeah.
But all of the King of the Hill maps have a similar layout. They have 3 different points, and they're all kind of designed similarly. So, on Nepal, I mean, yeah, sure. If you look at Nepal, the one where it's in the center of that temple and it's kind of raised up, yeah, you can kind of expect them to all come from the choke point, but they could just as easily flank to the high ground on your left or right, depending on where you're coming from, that high ground part.
Yeah.
I mean, they could just as easily go that way. Now, the Lijiang Tower control room is a little bit of a cluster because there's the main, entrance, and then there's the side entrance, and then they can go all the way around through the computer room up top. I mean, yeah, but that's the nature of King of the Hill is, you don't necessarily know which direction they're going to be coming from. Now, control point maps are different when you have like a Hanamura or a Volskaya.
Yeah, you know where
those
they're coming
are different. From. You know that they're going to be coming from that direction. There's no other direction they can be coming from. So, but you're also attacking and defending.
Yeah.
On King of the Hill maps, it's not necessarily attacking and defending. It's making sure that you're holding the 1 point that's there.
Which is why they say for King of the Hill, Reinhardt isn't always necessary.
Yeah,
That's
he's
true.
not.
Because they come
You
from
can
all
come from
directions.
any direction.
But,
Yeah.
but
Zarya and Winston are better picks, honestly, for King of the Hill maps.
I'm just really good with Reinhardt, so I pick him anyway because I can kind of get in.
right.
there.
He can juggle that. Yeah.
Yeah. And that's
Alrighty,
a
so-
thing, yeah.
So going back to play of the weeks, or plays of the week rather, Giblets. Just
I wrote that before we had the
night of a lifetime.
the God session that we played last night. We
Oh,
won
yeah.
like 6 games in a row, and I'm trying to bring up something from that. I mean, maybe it was that that self-destruct that I dropped
Yeah.
on that second point of Watch Point Gibraltar.
Yeah, that was
They
good.
were literally like half a meter or something from capturing the second spot with the payload.
Oh yeah.
And
Forgot about
they had team wiped us. And I come out of spawn boosting, and I boosted twice, and I got on top of the payload. I had ult, and I was coming in as Diva, and my whole plan the whole time was, and I'll do this. I won't shoot anything. I'll just take Diva. I'll walk right past all of the enemies, stand directly on top of the payload, and ult. If you're gonna ult on a payload with Diva, stand on top of the payload. Because they can't hide behind the payload if you stand on top of it.
Yeah.
So you just defense matrix your way all the way up there, jump right on top of the payload and ult. And so they scattered like flies in all directions. And I'm running around the payload like a crazy person in zero suit. And they focus me down. And friggin' Money Slinger comes out of the woodwork with a
I don't know
rip
where it
tire
came from.
Yeah.
and
This is
kills
beautiful.
kills 4 people. And
Yeah.
overtime bar just went swoop, boom, and closed. It was amazing.
Yeah, we had to focus down on McCree, but after that, yeah, it just went. It was great. It was great. Like,
Yeah, I don't have much to add for plays of the week because I'm just agreeing. I feel like that was our best play. That wasn't my best play. I was a dead Mercy, and I was very nervous. But it went well. Thank you for the retweet, Happy Biscuit. You made me a happy biscuit. I'm gonna be totally honest with you for that retweet. So thank you.
Zad Bazuki is talking about playing May.
all right.
Yeah.
Somebody want to go? Anybody want to talk about that?
I play May a little bit. Let's read this. I made May, and one time I went competitive attacking on Voskaya, and had a teammate hating on me being May, saying I should be a real character, and we ended up winning in overtime because I ulted. Got a team kill. Yeah, the thing about the meta that everybody talks about so much is the secret is if you're good enough at a character, you can go outside of what is generally accepted as a pick for a character. Like, just me with Reinhardt on King of the Hill. You shouldn't pick Reinhardt for King of the Hill because he's not very strong there because they're coming from all directions, but I'm good with Reinhardt. And I can pick
Look,
that.
Yeah, really, what I want to say, Zad, real quick, is that it's really good that it's really cool that you're good at May.
Yeah.
But I don't think that other teammate was really that out of line to say that she was a bad pick.
Don't
because
be mean to our
99
viewer.
point- 99 point. No, I'm complimenting him
Okay.
or her. I'm complimenting
Yeah.
them, saying that it's good that they're a good May. That's a good pick if you main them.
Yeah.
But 99% of the time, if someone picks May, it's because they know that you can get cheap kills with May. The same and May's not the only character that does that. I mean, that's the same reason people played Widow before they nerfed her to crap.
Because she has that slowdown thing, and then she helps everybody kill everybody else. So she's very good utility character.
and
Yeah, people
you'll get an immense amount of eliminations because you run around with a cryo blaster. Just you put 30 damage on a guy and slow him down. That makes it easy for him to kill, and just get tons of eliminations.
Our little group of people just has has this opinion because we have a friend that decided to main May for season 2, and he dropped like 500 ranks.
Yeah, he's not good at it. Yeah.
He's not good at it.
Sorry, you mad. No offense, but
And Zad has a point. She has a lot of utility. There's no doubt about that. And the main thing I would say about that situation, about somebody calling you out because you made a pick, I mean, it's like this. If you know that you are a very good, Zenyatta player.
Yes.
And for example, and somebody says, "Oh,
Zenyatta's not good for this map." Or
I wish you'd pick, something else. I wish you'd play a Reaper. We need a Reaper. But you're like, I couldn't play Reaper if my life depended on it. I'm going to stick with the character that I know I'm good at, and that's when people will start to get toxic. They'll start to get toxic on you then because they think that you're trying to throw the match based on how they feel about the meta. And it's just, you play the thing that you know you can play. And it's just like last night, the meta is not 3 tanks.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
It's not.
Not.
But we had somebody we know is a good Roadhog. We had a Rija whom we know is a good Reinhardt. And we were a little bit stuck. We were wondering, do we need 2 healers? What do we want to do? And I mean, I played Diva. And so we're like, let's try 3 tanks. And we did, and it worked. Because not because we were following the meta, but because we were all playing characters we were really good at.
Yeah,
right.
It didn't have anything to do with the meta. We just knew that we could get it done with these characters because we just play these characters well.
Right. Yeah. What you guys were saying in chat, her utility's great. Her wall move.
If you don't know how to use the walls right, it could ruin a game.
There's really
For
a disclaimer
everyone.
for all of this. If you're good at Mei, then yeah.
But if
play
you're
Mei.
good with the
But-
walls, if you have good team sense, like what your team is doing, if they're about to kill somebody and you know not to put up a wall, or if they're not about to kill somebody, they're about to die and you put up a wall, it's like that.
Yeah, the problem with Mei is when people play her and they're not thinking team, think. They're thinking, oh, I'm getting shot. I'm about to die. Let me use all of my utility to escape dying.
Yeah.
And what they end up doing is, I'm over here as Soldier 76. That Bastion is almost dead. He's on 10 health, and you just walled my Helix rocket. Just because you want to get something up in front of Bastion to stop him from shooting you when he was about to die if you hadn't walled him off. And now he's going to sit behind the wall and heal. That's when people are like, oh, I want to kill Mei, is because stuff like that happens.
Yeah, and that's just the thing. That's just the thing with Mei, is her walls can get annoying. But, if you know how to use it right, then, by all means.
Don't let anybody tell you that any of these heroes are not real heroes, because they're, as of right now, except for Genji, everything's balanced pretty well. I still think they need to rebuff Genji, just give him his triple jump back. Even though I hate Genji, I still think
it wasn't a triple jump. It was an
colloquially,
exploit.
Giblets, you and I both know that colloquially it's called a triple jump.
But it was technically an exploit.
There's still
because
animation canceling in the game.
But yes, but look, the triple jump thing, because he could double jump and then he could hit a wall and it would reset his double jump and he could double jump again off the wall. Like, okay, I mean, it's not a triple jump, he was just too damn mobile. I don't really care about the animation canceling. It's the fact that Genji was just all over the freaking map, and you couldn't do anything about his mobility. Like,
yeah, he's a ninja.
that was like, well, I understand that, but if he can jump all around the map like that, then Hanzo needs a double jump.
Yeah,
I mean,
Hanzo's not a ninja. I saw this really good video by this one guy, and the name escapes me. He's talking about how up until this point, most of the nerfs were just about damage output or non-mobility related nerfs or buffs, but changing the mobility and move set of a character, at least to me, and you can obviously have your own opinion on it, at least to me, it negatively affects the play experience. It's where I just had a friend talking to us about paladins, and we'll get to paladins. Don't worry, kids. We'll get to paladins.
We're getting to
paladins. Since it started, it has gone through so many different iterations of game type, game mode, what it's going through. If you're changing the way characters are played, rather than changing just something about the character, I feel like it's a negative effect. because now it doesn't feel the same. Like Lucio, they nerfed his speed boost, and I hate it, but he still plays the same. You know, he just doesn't play as well. But now there's just this intrinsic difference about Genji. There's just some things he can't do anymore, mobility-wise. And even though we nerfed Lucio, you can still do stuff like that.
Mm-hmm. And so making key plays was 2P's top. We got all that talked about. I mean, did you want to talk about anything else, Jared?
You didn't. Jared never talked about his clutch mercy.
Oh yeah.
I mean, I just had a nice mercy res that I was happy about. I mean, we don't have a visual,
the game,
so I'm not gonna. Yeah, it won the game. I'm not gonna make you guys sit through me explaining what happened. It was a nice.
It was a great
nice
mercy res on Hanamura. We were almost all dead. We were gonna lose it. She rezzed. It was awesome. Yeah.
Yeah.
All
right. So, what I want to do,
okay,
because it's a segue from what we were just talking about,
right,
is skip topics a little bit out of our itinerary and talk about paladins.
All right, paladins.
Just for a moment. So, Giblets, before we continue, did you play Paladins? I don't remember.
I never did.
Okay, so...
I never did play it.
For those who don't know, and I'm sure you do because you guys are smart, Paladins is Hi-Rez Studios' new first-person, free-to-play hero shooter. If you don't know, Hi-Rez is known for making one of my beloved first FPS games.
Smite?
Tribes Ascend.
Oh, okay.
Tribes Ascend.
Tribes. Eesh.
I messed it up. I just went like that. I don't know what that is. Like that. Tribes Ascend. There we go.
Okay.
Tribes Ascend. Love that game. If it's, I don't know if the servers are still up. Check it out if you haven't. But they're better known for Smite, and now they've come out with Paladins, and they're coming a lot. It's scoring pretty well, actually, in terms of reviews. But it's coming under a lot of fire from fans of Overwatch and just from fans of gaming who are saying that it's a complete ripoff of Overwatch. So, what's your opinion on that, Regia? Because you played more than me.
TLDR, it's pretty much a ripoff of Overwatch with like one or two new characters. Like I didn't play all of it, but like, okay, there's a guy named Fernando, and like I had no trouble getting used to playing him because he's just like playing Reinhardt. The same moves,
Yes.
Just a little different mechanics with the shield, but it's the same idea. I just couldn't stop winning.
Yeah.
I guess yeah. It's a
think
poor
there's
man's
just-
Overwatch.
You couldn't stop winning?
Yeah, I didn't lose once, so
Yeah.
I was playing.
I-
I was playing the little fox support and running
You
around.
played some of that to Overwatch.
Yeah, we need to transmit that win streak to Overwatch.
I haven't lost a game in Paladins yet, so
So I have 2 points about Paladin. And I
all
only
the
played one
characters
match.
have something from Overwatch, which
Yeah.
bothers me a little bit.
I only played one match.
Okay.
The thing that bothered me the most, even more than the concept stealing, because we got to make a big difference between borrowing gameplay aspects, which Overwatch has borrowed from TF2 and other games that came before it. It borrowed aspects from arena shooters, stuff like that. And there's a difference between that and stealing character concepts, art style, intellectual property sort of things like that, which Paladins has done. That bothers me, but what really bothers me is something that really got Overwatch to stick with me. That I've stuck with Overwatch is that the sound design sucks in Paladins. Personally, I don't like it. Whenever I play a game, that's why I really like Battlefield. I need to have, there needs to be good sound design. There needs to be a point where every movement or interface, the key I press, if there's a sound, it sounds good. It sounds like it should. There should be real...
Oh yeah, the sound design sucks. Yeah, I couldn't hear 2P over the sounds.
Yeah, well, it isn't even the volume. It's just really that it's called Foley sound effects, so digitally created sound effects.
Okay.
It just didn't sound good. Weapon firing, environment noises, voice lines. Also, the art design was not particularly appealing. It looked pretty bad.
It looked pretty low. It looked low poly to me. It looked really low poly.
Yeah,
Like-
actually, yeah,
like Nintendo 64 graphics or something.
A little
Yeah.
better in N64, yeah.
Yeah, so like the Giblets is right about that, and I really think that the reason you notice is that the shadows are also pretty bad on it too. Shading isn't that great in it.
Well, that and the fact that, you know, when PlayStation 2 came out, we were all like, "Oh my God, the graphics are amazing!"
Yeah,
And now you look at it and you're like, "What?
It
What is
was
that?"
it was fun. I mean, it was kind of like when I was talking to 2P. It's like playing a mobile game. It's like playing a mobile phone game. That's what it reminded me of. It was just kind of mildly amusing, and you know, I could just quit whenever I wanted to, and that's what people are gonna do.
that really would have come.
You can't talk about Overwatch ripoffs unless you talk about Battleborn and League of Titans as well.
Yeah.
And,
Well,
you know,
Battleborn's different, but yeah, League of Titans for sure.
Battleborn is kind of like a first person lane game,
it's literally a
like
first-person
League of
MOBA.
Legends or something.
Yeah,
Mhm.
and it has suffered for its imagined crimes. People thought it was a ripoff, and now what? They have like 300 people play it every day.
What is it, a MOBA or something? What do they call those games? Like
It's a
Dota,
first-person
MOBAs?
Yeah,
Yeah.
there's lanes, you farm creeps, it's stuff like that. Which
So
I don't-
first person LOL.
Yeah. I would. I mean, we're gonna get so much.
Let's not
different
leave out
stuff.
that Chinese knockoff game League of Titans,
Yeah, that was going to
which
be a
is
mobile game.
literally a complete and total plagiarism of Overwatch.
Yeah.
Down to the most absolute detail. Even the heads up display on your screen is exactly the same as Overwatch.
Yeah, unlike
So-
Paladins, where sometimes they had the enemy teams turned into chickens. Yeah, as an
Yeah.
alt. Yes,
I did. Yeah. What the things that were original in Paladin?
So
I
it was
appreciated.
unique. It's like the reviewers' fair use. I think it might fall under fair use.
It
can
does.
see-
It's different enough that they're not going to get sued. But it's what it really comes down to. Final point here before we move on. Final point is that if a game can bore me, a game can be it could be bad. But if it comes to the point where I'm playing a game and all I can think about is playing another game, that's where you've gone wrong. Is really where it is. Because the entire time I played Paladins for the 15 minutes I played it, and you know I've given a lot of crap and I've only played 15 minutes, so take my opinion with a grain of salt if you want to. But it was I sat down. I knew I wasn't going to be playing Overwatch anyways. I sat down, played Paladins. All I could think about was Overwatch, and how much I wanted to play Overwatch.
Giblets is over here still laughing.
I just had
Giblets, shut up
a
about the
vision.
chickens.
I
I'm
had
having
a
a moment.
vision of Reaper, like helicopter ulting into a pack of chickens, and he's like, "Die, die!" And chicken feathers are flying everywhere, and they're all like, "Gah, gah, gah," flying all over.
Anyways, before we move on, and I want to move on to No Man's Sky because I have some opinions on that, and I'm sure you guys do too. And by the way, go ahead, Giblets.
I have no idea what that is. You're saying
No Man's Sky?
It's another
You've
game.
No
never-
idea.
It came out. It
Are,
died.
are you being serious?
I am. I'm being
Okay,
dead
we'll get to that. Okay, so final point on Paladins. They literally have a guy that looks like Groot, and his name is Grover. So that's what I want to say about that.
And there's a
Okay,
fox
so-
with a big gun who looks
Yeah.
a little bit like Rocket Raccoon. So there you go.
So No Man's Sky. No Man's Sky. We're going to be talking about this for about a minute.
Okay.
It is a suggested topic.
Didn't it
by
last
one
for
of our
about a
stream
minute?
viewers. Yeah, from last stream. So if you guys want to post a possible topic for
Yeah.
us,
You're welcome to post it
feel
in
free to
chat.
do so in chat, and we could maybe talk about it next time. All right, so No Man's Sky. For the people who don't know, aka Giblets and probably his mom, those are probably the two people that don't know about this game. No Man's Sky is a PS4 PC exclusive about space exploration. It's a space exploration/survival game. Survival game, depending on who you ask, which we'll get into in a second. It's a procedurally generated universe with about 18 quintillion procedurally generated planets. and the planets are planet-sized. So when you fly in, they have their own atmospheres, procedural generated terrain, creatures. It looks really cool. The trailer was amazing back in 2014 when I watched it for the first time. I was really looking forward to this game, and it has caused a stir in the gaming community for a couple of reasons. For one, there were multiple features. For one, it was delayed severely. It was supposed to come out last year, and then it was supposed to come out in like 2014 originally, and then it got pushed back. And then right before it was about to release, it got pushed back again till August when it finally came out. So that caused a lot of strife, a lot of anger with a lot of these people who pre-ordered. There was a lot of pre-orders for this game.
Yeah, because it looked amazing when it was pre-rendered.
It got pushed back how far from its original release date?
Between a year and 2 years, I think, which is a long time. In game world. I mean, we could talk about Star Citizen and about how it's never going to come out.
Why don't we, if you want to talk about that, let's talk about Half-Life 3 and how it's been 10 friggin' years.
To be fair, Half-Life 3 has not been announced. Okay? This game was announced, It had a release date, and then it got...
I'll give you that. Okay.
And Gabe Newell's pretty much squashed any hope for Half-Life 3. Anyway...
Steam's what squashed the hope for Half-Life.
Yeah, he's like, why do I need to make games when I can just make money selling other people's games?
Right.
Anyways, main reason No Man's Sky is getting flack is because there were multiple key features to the game that were alluded to and even verbally confirmed by the developers that were not in the game, that were absent from the game. They said they were going to be in there. By key features, I mean they said there was going to be multiplayer. Verbally
thanks
confirmed.
for follow.
Verbally confirmed that there was going to be multiplayer. No multiplayer in sight. Technically, there's multiplayer. It's one big universe where everybody can visit the same planets. But two people got close enough to each other and tried to meet each other on the same planet, and they couldn't see each other. So it was pseudo multiplayer. But they promised that you would be able to interact with your friends. They did say it was going to be really difficult to meet your friends, but they still lied and promised that. That's the big thing people are mad about. Also, there were different procedurally generated environments and creatures that were in the trailer that are nothing like what you're getting in the game. It's so much more cookie cutter and boring. I think that the player base is like really, really low on PC at the moment. It dropped off after like the first 2 days. It dropped like 90% within like the first 2 weeks or something.
Yep.
Really, it comes in. I wanted to talk about this because this links into Overwatch. And because it's talking about gaming.
If it did anything wrong, if Overwatch had done everything wrong, they might have ended up like this game. Is that what you're saying?
And the question is, did Overwatch did Overwatch do everything right? Did we get what we promised? We were promised, and were we promised anything?
We weren't promised anything.
That's really what
that I know of.
They were just there's this game called Overwatch. Here's the trailer. Good luck. It wasn't. There wasn't a bunch of. I mean, they might have said. I mean, they promised stuff that was actually in the game when they had it. So yeah.
Is No Man's Sky supposed to be full release now?
Yeah.
Oh yeah. No,
that's the problem.
It never had a beta. It came out full release.
Yeah.
That's why they kept delaying it.
That's why it was so...
Sound to me like they full released the beta.
Yeah.
That's what it sounds like. Because nowadays games got to have beta. Yeah. I mean, especially any multiplayer online game where you expect a couple million people to play this game on day one. A couple million people are going to find every glitch and bug there is in the game.
Yeah.
In a day. So you got to have a beta.
The question is...
That's the problem. That's what happened.
Actually, Giblets, I disagree, and this is the point I was going to make, is that even though they lied and stuff, at least they put their name and said it was a fully released product, and now it's biting them in the ass. Mm-hmm. And good. Was there something they did wrong? Yes. They lied about what features there were. But this is more of a tangent. I don't think there should be betas. There should be betas like they are now. I like how, even though I hate EA, the corporation. I love their games. They do betas correctly. Very short betas, comparatively.
Yeah, like a day in beta, and then it's out tomorrow.
Yeah. So, I mean, I like that a lot better than these early access, open betas for months. Overwatch's open beta was pretty long as well, and I don't even think that was... I mean, I guess that makes sense because...
It made a lot of sense because they made some changes they need to make.
I just don't... I like buying something and knowing that it's done.
Well, nobody bought the beta for Overwatch. It was free.
That's not what I'm talking... that was just an example. But, you can buy into betas now. Like, early access allows you to buy into alphas. Something...
I don't agree with that. I don't think you should be able to buy into a beta. A beta game... A beta version of a game should be free.
Yeah, I agree with that. That's perfectly fine.
And here's why. Because they used to have these things called play testers.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
And they had to pay those people. And so now, if you buy early access into a beta version of something, you are paying to be a play tester, which is a thing that used to get paid to be.
Yeah.
Like, so I saw a meme about video games in general. And it was like, used to, when you bought a game, you got a hamburger, and it had the meat and the cheese and the tomato and the onion and everything was on it. And then the expansion pack was the French fries, and this expansion pack was the drink. Mm-hmm. Now, when you buy a video game, you get the bread and the meat and the lettuce and the onions are DLC, and then the fries are a huge 60 gigabyte DLC that's $25 free later, like 2 years later down the road. And the same thing with the drink. When 10 years ago, when you bought a video game and you paid $60, you got a full freaking video game.
Yeah.
You didn't get all this DLC crap that come out later, It
all comes down to the internet because, back in the day you couldn't do patches, without losing tons of money, mailing people physical media and stuff like that. I mean, Doom had some different editions and stuff like that. They really started doing those patches, but continue. Anyways.
You look, I could talk for an hour about how stupidly screwed up Xbox One is.
Yes.
I got an Xbox One. I don't play console. I got it for my kid because he plays console games.
Okay.
And he plays it, but it's dumb, and this is why it's dumb. Okay, if I go buy a video game disc, 10 years ago when I bought a video game disc and I put it in the friggin' video game, it played right then.
Instantly.
I didn't have to download 60 gigabytes of crap in order to play the game.
Yeah, and you have low bandwidth,
game isn't
right?
The game isn't even on. No, I do. It's terrible. The game isn't even on the freaking disc anymore. I've got to download it, okay? And basically, if I pay $60 for a video game and Microsoft doesn't want me to play that video game, they could disable it, and I wouldn't be able to play the friggin' video game anymore. Mm-hmm. It's ridiculous.
Yeah. Also, how does it feel to be paying money for an internet service that should be free? That also sucks at the same time. But I mean, I don't want to go PC versus console. I have some unpopular opinions about that.
Like there was a game that they released that had literally just the title screen on it or whatever, and you downloaded the entire game. I heard about. I don't remember what game it was, but I remember hearing about it. This is crazy.
I remember that. Yeah.
And what happens 30 years from now when that game's no longer available on their servers? You have a piece of metal.
It's not just that. Like they made certain games backwards compatible for Xbox One.
Yes.
Xbox 360 games, and I have Xbox 360 games stowed away in boxes, like piles of them. Yeah. And so my son was like, "Hey, Black Ops, the original Black Ops is backwards compatible on Xbox One." I'm like, "This is amazing!" And I go and I start breaking everything trying to find it, and I find it, and we're plugging in. We're like ready. We're like, "Yeah, man, let's play some zombies." 8 gigabyte download to play the freaking game.
Yeah.
What? You mean to tell me that I've got to download a port? I mean, I basically downloaded the whole game.
Pretty much all it did was read that you had the legit disc in it, and then downloaded the actual game.
And then let me have the game.
That's not backward.
It's ridiculous.
That's what I hate about
It's
Well,
fake
we all-
backwards
yeah.
compatibility is what it is, and it's really stupid.
You know what? Let's do a carryover of that next cast, maybe, because I think it would be a good idea to talk about our ideas and linking it into Overwatch. Do we think that it's good on console? Because I have a brother-in-law who plays it on console, and I think it's good on console. I think it's competent. But like our thoughts on our consoles. Well, we don't want to get into console wars, but just more thoughts on that.
Yep.
Yeah. So, let's keep trucking along, ladies and gents.
All right. So,
Uh,
this was Tupi's topic, but making key plays.
yes.
In Overwatch, we're going back to Overwatch here. Oh, wait, the small test patch. Well, we'll get to it.
Yeah.
Making.
Well,
key
we got.
we got 5 minutes.
We'll just talk about those two things, and then we'll wrap up.
Making key plays. Okay, so you this is all about, and this he says key plays. This is all about team sense. You know, Jared's dancing around the point, contesting it as Lucio, right?
Yeah.
And he's staying on that point. He's not necessarily shooting anything. It's overtime, and he stays on that point, and then till the whole team can get there, right? That's making key plays, and it's all about team sense. It's all about knowing what you're supposed to do in a certain situation. You want to talk a little bit more about that, Giblets?
Oh, I mean, the thing that happens a lot in Overwatch, and it's really frustrating when it happens to you, and it may even be more frustrating when it happens to a teammate, is when somebody just completely misuses their ultimate ability, like just completely wastes it. And lots of examples of that. Azaria, for example, who waits until the entire team is dead, and then she throws down her ultimate, and it does absolutely zero because everybody's dead, and nobody can take advantage of it. Or, like a Soldier 76 who panic ults at the end of a team wipe and just dies, 2 seconds into his ultimate, and he doesn't kill anybody, or that diva who tries to pitch her ultimate over a wall and it ends up flying off the map or something stupid. Ultimate abilities are like having an ace in your pocket.
Yeah.
And look, I'll be the first one to tell you, as a diva, if I'm on the payload or on the objective and I'm about to die and I know that it's important that I get some picks right now, I will wait till I'm on 5 health and I will panic ult your ass right now. But I mean, that's one of those ultimates where it's just like, it's a zone. It's a zoner thing. Like, you don't necessarily want to kill people with that ultimate. You just want to get them to go away from where you are.
May and Zarya have very similar, or May and Diva. May and Diva have similar functioning.
Probably the worst wasted ultimate in the game is a Lucio ultimate that gets wasted. Because it's
there's
so
no
powerful.
team members around. The Lucio might be about to die, and there's no team. Well, actually, that's a good use of your ult, isn't it? When you're about to die and you're Lucio, right?
No. I panic ult. Just die.
Just die. Okay.
Just die.
Yeah.
Because you could speed back to your team after your 10-second being dead and then ult.
All right. Okay.
And then better. Yeah, and I would.
So
my gut reaction is to agree with you, Elijah, but at the same time, now that I think about it, it's better just for Lucio to die, because then he's gonna 9 times out of 10 he's gonna pop his ult and then he's gonna die. So it doesn't even really affect it that much.
Yeah. And like getting back to that, it's just knowing when to use your ult. If like the entire team is on the payload and you can't get them off, it's like a thick coat of dirt on your truck and you just can't get it washed after 3 times. You're gonna have to pop that McCree ult, we'll say, or Diva ult, and get them the heck off the payload. It's knowing when to use your ult. It's not just to kill people. It's for the point. I was playing a game last night. This was after Jared and Giblets had gone to bed, and I was playing with a friend, and And okay, we hardly ever killed the enemy team. Like, they killed us a lot more than we killed them, but we had a teleporter, and what we did was we got them off the point. Like, it was Anubis, and it was the point 1, and we just got them off the point so we could take it every time. And that's how we won. We didn't really kill them as much as they were killing us, but we still won because we got them off the point. We killed them enough. And what people got to realize is this isn't a game about killing people, it's about taking the point. And when you understand that, you can use your ults better.
Yeah.
I mean, there's 23 things we can talk about here, right? Or 22.
And we should talk about that next time for a carryover. Is what's the best ult? What's the worst ult? Are there any useless ults? I think there is one. There's Widowmaker, but that's just me. I
would never call having a wall hang useless.
No.
I would say because
if you have a little sound blaster gun, it's probably useless because you can't shoot them. But if you have McCree's pistol, it's very useful.
Oh yeah, cool. Widowmaker has a wall hack. Well, guess what? That's freaking Hanzo's alternate fire that reloads every 12 seconds. So
but it's the whole map.
It's the whole map.
But that doesn't. I don't think that. And with how awful Widow is just in the meta right now, I don't think that works.
Widowmaker's just bad, period. It's not.
They've buffed her a little bit.
Her ult isn't the greatest.
They've buffed her a little bit. You know, they made a few changes. They're thinking about buffing her. They haven't. It's in the test patch, but yeah.
All right. Anything else to add, gentlemen?
I don't know. They made a few changes in the test patch. This will be useless information next week. So.
Yeah. I mean, not much to talk about in the patch.
Junkrat's retired now.
Raised from above.
So while he's saying start your engine,
Fighting tactical advice. Overwatch.
Anna's ult
In
costs
common
20% more.
games,
That's
we
something
play
else. She was charging
Mostly.
Her biotic grenade is now 4 meters instead of 3 meter radius.
I'm going to eat some real cold steel.
Anyway,
I
sometimes
agree with
we
that.
random like that.
Her only
How
self-ability
dare
and
you
only
mimic
for
an
Matt
ult?
Everybody else
all this time to say,
down. Like
darn it, I was supposed to do something else.
At least to me.
I'm thinking
right,
4
Baker.
meters is
Get
about
those
the length of the payload.
Jared,
Does that sound about
respect
right?
your
That's about right.
elders. Jared ain't gonna defend
Yeah,
himself.
and, I think that's the
It's
podcast.
high
Coming
noon.
out.
Hold on now, Mr. Giblets. Let's think about that.
Everybody on
No,
YouTube,
wait a
thank
minute,
you very
Mr.
much for
Giblets.
subscribing.
Wait!
You gonna do it? You gonna? No, you don't have to.
Like button.
Like button. Oh yeah. And we'll see you later.
All right. Bye.
Baby, bye, bye, bye,